What's up, everybody? It's Cass.
And I'm Dub.
And you are the Butler Brigade. We're going to knock out a few videos today. Welcome back to DemButlers YouTube channel. So, all the new members, old members, new subscribers, old subscribers, watchers, viewers, foes, woes, and the mighty, mighty keyboard warriors. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, Butler Brigade. Thank you, everyone that continues to tune back in.
That rock with us.
And you find value in what we talk about, okay? So having a WhatsApp group channel, we get to see engagement and things that are popping, what the brigade is talking about and the questions that they have or the comments that they have and what's going back and forth. Here lately, one that's been going back and forth has been a little divisive, and that's okay. We're all individuals, so we all have our own individual opinion.
Yeah.
Dub and I happen to agree. Our viewpoint on this one happens to be the same, but that's not maybe the majority of the people, or maybe it is. Maybe it is the majority of people out there that happen to view the same thing that we view. Today we're going to talk about expecting third world prices in a developmental country like Panama.
Ah, okay. I thought you were about to call Panama.
No, expecting third world prices in a developed country such as Panama. And in particular, Dub and I can speak on Panama City, because that's obviously where we live.
Right.
You can probably find some more economically less cost of things if you're not in the city.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with you.
and even from, let's just go cost of living. And we all know that. One of the things that a lot of YouTubers talk about is the cost of, let's just go housing. Where are you going to lay your head? The further west you go, the more affordable that may be for someone. But that's in gist what we're going to talk about. So what we've seen in the WhatsApp group here recently is the comparison of some things that have developed, i.e. in Mexico. And if you do not follow world news, you might not be aware of what we're talking about. But in the country of Mexico, a lot of the citizens are upset with immigrants that have relocated there, that have drove up the cost of goods, housing, and things, and they can't afford to be in their own country. Things are too expensive. So the Mexican cities have...
Well, that's the perceived argument.
Sorry about that.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Salute. That is the perceived argument. I'm going to say, instead of the argument against the expats driving up, no one ever mentions the stores, owners driving up the price.
So today we're going to talk about basically that, because we have seen this popping in the WhatsApp group. In particular, some of the things that have been, the majority of things that people are talking about is black women in particular, because I'm a black woman, so that's what I can base this on. I can't say that this is not a conversation in the non-melanated groups. It might be, but black women in particular, the cost of hair, the cost of drivers, personal drivers to show you around the city that you're not familiar with, the cost of shipping of goods, anything that you can,
the cost of stuff,
the cost of eating out at a restaurant. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Cost of life.
The cost of life. So number one, let's clear this up.
What's dirty?
Well, we're going to clear this up. Moving to Panama does not mean you're going to have things cheap. That's number one. You're not going to be able to get $100 penthouse.
You got to have some
with the
realistic
wraparound views like this was, I don't know. I can't even say Craigslist 1999. I mean, most of the time that's going to be a scam anyway, y'all. If it's, as people like to say, if it's too good to be true,
it is.
It's too good to be true. Our realtor shared with us. Omar sent me a couple of pictures a couple of weeks ago, and he said it's this kind of stuff that he has to negate in giving people a realistic expectation when they get here to Panama. One of those things was on a very prominent website that people go to see real estate here, in particular of Panama City. A Costa del Este condo was advertised at $650.
You'll never find it.
It was advertised at that.
You won't find it.
And they kept sending it to Omar Ramsey, going, why can you not show us this property? So Omar finally responded to them and showed them the red line map. This particular ad, first off, was not 650 in a realistic number, but it was not realistically in Costa del Este. They were claiming Costa del Este, but they were not in Costa del Este. They were a couple of blocks from Costa del Este, and they were riding with the option of close enough. You don't live here and you don't know, and all you know from the U.S. is Costa del Este is a prominent area, so it's getting people to their site. And for the person who probably doesn't have a real estate advisor, they're just going to book it, and they're probably going to be like, this is Costa del Este, because truly, outside of Costa del Este doesn't look like Costa del Este. I mean,
No, it doesn't.
And so you get there and you're like, this is what everybody was raving about? They have red lines. They have things that are, blocks are separating prominent areas. And if you're unfamiliar with that, you might feel like you're being scammed, but you're not being scammed. So that was one thing.
Why would you get an apartment and not see it?
Because people do all the time. I mean, we see it in our group. They come here and they sit here and they literally post on it. Can someone tell me another place to go? I booked this place online. And they even say it. They raise their hand and go, I know, I was wrong. I should have did my investigation. But they did it. They did it. So neither here nor there, they do it. A lot of people think that Panama is a third world country, Dub, but they walk around Panama City, and what are the first things that you see? What are we looking out our window right now at?
Yeah, skyscrapers and big parks and modern
there you go.
buildings and infrastructure.
As far as I know, that's not a third world country. And maybe some people think a third world country is something that this is not. This is not red dirt.
Wait. I'm gonna clear this right now. Most Americans naively think everything outside of the United States is a third world.
They really do. And I agree with you on that, Cedric. For those of you that know that I happen to be an HR recruiter, and a lot of my international freelancers, contractors, they are the prominent freelancers in the IT world. And I have had numerous conversations with Forbes 500 companies that are shocked that one man, and I remember this quote to this day, he literally said, I'm going to pay $75 an hour for somebody that has dirt in their living room. Cedric happened to be he was in earshot of that conversation. He got really aggravated with that because that was an ugly statement to say. Whether someone is a third world country, whether they have dirt in their living room or not, they're talent that you're hiring. And they still have the knowledge that you're needing. So you have to pay for the knowledge that they have, not where they reside.
That's correct.
In this day and age of people being a remote worker, my address might be based out of India, but I might be in Jamaica. I might be in Africa. I might be in Russia. You don't know. And so you can't sit there and go, well, this person is from a third world country. They shouldn't charge these prices. It's funny. The only time that the relevance of the cost of something comes into play is when the consumer needs to pay for it. Mm-hmm. When you the business that need to receive the money.
The cheapest?
Oh,
you love that.
You don't want the fact that people are coming in wanting you to reduce your prices. As the business owner, you're sitting there, you take offense to that. You're like, this is the cost. But when you're having to shell out money, everybody wants cheap, free, reduced, savings, promotion. That's just not discount. They want everything to be the lowest possible price. But if they were the receiving end of a business, let's point and take. Those of you out there, at some point, I'm going to assume everybody's been an employee. I just gave the example. Yeah. Everybody's been an employee. Mm-hmm. How would you have felt if for the skill sets and the knowledge that you had, the employer countered you, whatever your wage was that you were expecting, and they said, yeah, we feel like we should be able to get that at least 50% off. Yeah.
You'll feel a certain type of way.
Your salary, yeah, that's what you're asking, but easily, we know it should be 50% less. We know it should be.
With no other metric outside of that. All right.
You might feel some kind of way.
No, you will feel some kind of way.
I already know they're going to feel some kind of way. So, I was saying they have banking. It's a banking hub. A lot of people don't realize this. It's a financial area. High-end skyscrapers, views. You see Bentley. You see Rolls Royce. You see Porsches. You see Audis. And yes, you also see Kias. You also see Hondas.
You see every make and model in the world.
But the funny thing is, you don't see too many hoopties. You really don't see hoopties, not what you see in the U.S. There are high level, this is an advanced country. So it's a modern capital. when you say that, Cedric? Very
I would
capitalistic.
I would say Panama City is very.
Yeah.
It's very. I'm not gonna say modern. It's gonna be very modern. It's not third world.
No,
at all.
they have paved highways and tollways that can take you from one end of the country to the other. Yes, are there roads, I guess you should say? Of course, just like there are in the U.S. Yeah. But they have paved highways, you guys. They have international ports. They have 2 of them. So you need to remember that this is not roll in on a donkey.
Right.
Country. I mean, that's just not what it is.
Right.
So just like how you can go to Santa Costera, which is right off Avenue Balboa, which is the elitist, I guess, of residences in that area. If you're going to pay to be like being in Manhattan or being in Hollywood Hills, you're going to pay for some addresses.
There are some upscale places here in Panama City.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but there is no, as we just said, there's no chickens rolling down the street, no donkeys and no red dirt in the city predominantly. Right. So, not only that, Panama uses the U.S. dollar. Do you not?
Yeah, they do.
They do have their own local money, which is called the
Balboa.
The Balboa, which is also one of their beer names, so don't confuse it. But
their currency is based
off the U.S. dollar. So if you're looking for something that is more...
But I want to go ahead and say the people that are making the comments about things should be cheaper, they already know that because they're spending their dollars here and they're making a complaint about, hey, we feel like X is too high. Y'all are offering X too high, although X back at their home country and state is way more.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. Yeah. We really are. We're going to get to that. So if you feel like that certain things should be cheaper, Mexico or Colombia, and I just shared with you about Mexico, you might not want to take your butt there thinking everything's going to be cheap, because it is being risen higher. Right. But there are other countries that there are more economical, meaning that the exchange rate of a dollar to their local money is definitely more affordable if you're trying to stretch your dollar, I guess I want to say. So in the U.S., if a single Coke costs $2.50, it is not going to be 50 cents here in Panama.
No, absolutely not. But it may not be $2.50 either.
Yeah. So you just need to know that Panama things are imported. So they still have high tariffs. They got shipping. They got taxes. All of that stuff adds into the cost of the good. Absolutely. If it adds into the cost of the good, it adds into the price that the consumer must pay.
Right.
It's just how it is, you guys. It's more affordable in some things.
But most folks don't even understand economics. I
they didn't take the class.
I know the point that you're trying to give, but you can't put knowledge in somebody who doesn't have a baseline understanding of economics. And
they also feel as if businesses control their profit. Do they? Of course they do. We've all, especially us, those of us that's from the U.S., we feel like these billionaire companies, in order to make another billion again, they just keep raising the price of stuff just because they can. It has nothing to do with the fact of how much it costs. That's not across the board for everything. No business is in business to not make money.
That's right. You won't be in business.
Yeah, no business is. So they have to add on the cost of how much those things are to, unfortunately, the consumer. We're the one who have to pay for it. So let's wrap this up on some things. Let's talk here. We're gonna talk here. Although Cedric is naturally bald, he keeps his hair shaved. There is a difference. So the thing that's been going around in the WhatsApp group has been the cost of braids, the cost of sew-ins, the cost of locks.
Don't buy.
The cost of anything of that nature.
Don't buy.
One thing that Cedric and I like to point out is if you are of African American descent, black hair, there is not an abundance of Afro-focused salons here in Panama City. Just like in the U.S., we all know Nene in the hood who lives in the Section 8 apartment, she gonna be able to throw braids and do a sew-in in your hair for $50 because honestly, she ain't supposed to be working anyway. Let's just be real. She's not supposed to be making their money anyway. She's on Section 8 housing. She's on assistance in food and her rent. She's not supposed to be making money anyway. So she is okay with charging you $50 to come sit in her apartment, in her neighborhood, in her chair with her 3 kids running around the living room and do your braids.
But I see a problem now. You're comparing apples and oranges. Because Shanae ain't a salon.
There you go.
She ain't a business. She ain't got the
You're just not going to have the same way that you can do that in the U.S. You can do that here in Panama. You might have to go to somebody who's doing braids or sew-ins or locks in a more Afro-influenced area, which might be Cologne. It's going to be outside the city. There are not in abundance every single corner a black hair salon that services your hair. And so since there's not an abundance, just like supply and demand, there means it's a limited amount of people who not only can do your type of hair, but that also have the knowledge and the wherewithal, I guess, to be able to focus on your hair. Afro-focused hair is a different type of a hair. I mean, hair is hair, but you don't want just anybody working in your head. And black women in particular, we are very particular about anybody working in our hair. And this has just been confusing to Cedric and I, that if braids are $400 in your home city, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, New York, if braids, boho down past your bottom, somebody working in your hair for 8 hours is $400 in the U.S. And then you're upset that it's $100 to $200 here in Panama.
Yeah.
And we're not understanding. And the thought is it should be less than that.
Why?
Why should it be less than that? Why should it be $50?
So the person that's doing your hair deserves less money because it should be cheaper, or is it that the owner who has overhead employees and paying taxes need to charge you less so he can pull more money out of his pocket to cover all that? Which one is it?
Another comparison is the fact of barbershops. So men here in Panama, there's a barbershop probably every 5 feet. Yeah. Literally. There's a lot of barbershops.
Supply and demand.
What did I just say about the Afro woman salon? It's not a lot of them. So the men barbershops are able to charge $5 for a haircut, fade, and a beard trim because right next door, literally right next door, is another barbershop. So it's not a supply and demand. The men are going to be able to have more economical, and what you hear as that's a reduced price in a barbershop because there are too many to choose from. I can guarantee you that the competition is high. They're not making $1 million as barbers.
They're not. And also with guys, there's no material to add to the guy.
That is correct.
You're cutting. Off.
There's not shampoo products, condition products. There's not flat irons. There's not added hair, the supply of the hair. All of that stuff is not there. You're going to find a $5 man barbershop, but you're not going to be able to find a $50 full braids down to your bottom braids. That's what I'm talking about.
And the barber's only taking 30 minutes with you.
That's it, at best. Let's go with the restaurants. We get told this one a lot. The restaurants can be an eye-opener for some people, especially if you're going to do an American-based restaurant. Right. Applebee's, TGI Fridays. Here, sometimes they're more than the States. Here, a certain meal can be more than the States. Cedric has found that out in ordering on, was it Applebee's, I believe he said. Certain Applebee's have a much more higher price than the Applebee's back in the United States. The Applebee's back in the United States, I believe they're now doing the lunch special. Sometimes it's the starter, the entree, and a drink is like $9.99. You don't see that here. Yeah. You're just not going to find it here. They're catering to expats. Daiquiri 23 is catering to expats. He can't charge you a Fonda price when you want oxtails, shrimp and grits, collard greens, ribs.
And you're not sitting in a Fonda. You're sitting in a restaurant that has AC and all like this. And your Fondas might be outside.
That's correct. AC. But it's also a different quality of the food.
Exactly.
Fondas have a different quality. You're not going to find no ribs and no oxtails. Not that kind of quality, the same level that the restaurants are charging. When you want American-based food, you have to pay American-based prices. If you don't want the American-based prices, change the dynamics of where you eat.
Yeah.
Just change the dynamics of where you eat.
Because the businesses are not going to go lower than what they are.
That's correct.
They're just not.
They also, you want ribs? They have to be imported. Americans also want to see big quantity of food. Yes, we do. We like to see them plates loaded. Let somebody charge you $20 for an entree and you can still see a lot of plate. We want to see Cheesecake Factory meals come out on our plates. So that large of a quantity of food, you got to pay more. You're going to have to pay more. They want big portions. They want the unlimited refills. This American mindset, yes, you are. That these businesses are not in business to not make a profit. Yeah. So go ahead, babe.
And one other thing, and then the argument is, well, the Panamanian customer can't afford these prices. that business is not set up for the Panamanian customer. And that's what y'all got to realize. You're already catching a break almost 50% in some places. In some places on the stuff that you're getting compared to the States. It's the same quality, the same stuff, and you're paying 50% less. And yet you're still making complaints that you feel that it's too high.
Right.
But you never make the argument that, hey, the Panamanian customer can't get it, so let's pay the Panamanian employees more money so they can buy this. Y'all don't make that argument.
No, it's not. Let's increase. And we're going to get to that. I'm actually going to get to it. I know Cedric keeps bringing it up. He's brought it up like 3-4 times. And you see I'm not even conversing with him on that.
I don't know how
because I'm not going with that. I'm not even there yet. But let's go bar. Let's go liquor. American bars, 1942. Belvedere. Don Julio. I mean... those are imported luxury brands. Sure. And so you're going to pay luxury prices. You're not going to find it drastically reduced just because you're in Panama.
You're not going to get that $5 shot?
But if you want, here's the funny thing. If you want a more affordable drink like the Panamanians. Drink Seco. That is their personal drink. Drink the Balboa beer. Otherwise, a Don Julio shot is still going to be $20 here in Panama. So you're going to have to realize, like we keep saying it, if you want the reduced price of things, then go the Panamanian way. You're not going to be able to get Don Julio for $5. I mean, we just basically said that. Another big one they've been talking about, those drivers. Folks are complaining about the fact of why is a personal driver going to charge me $50 or $100 or $250 for the day? Let's think about this.
Uh-oh.
We're going to think about this. We're going to think about this.
Give some math.
Most of your personal drivers are also Uber drivers. If you have not been to Panama, this might be not something you're familiar with. But even in the United States, the price that you're being charged for the ride, that doesn't go straight to the Uber driver. The only thing that goes straight to the Uber driver is that tip that you give them. So if a ride is $3, Uber is a business. They have to take a percentage of that $3. So let's just go to a 50-50 split, which we know is not.
I don't believe it's 50-50.
We know it's not. That means your $3 ride, your driver just made $1.50. Most rides, you pretty much are getting around, what would you say, Cedric? In 10 to 15 minutes, that driver is there and they're on to their next fare. So they just made $1.50 in 10 to 15 minutes. Let's calculate. How long is it going to take them? But most Americans don't tip. So I'm not even going to give a car. I know folks get jump out them Ubers and don't give a tip. So I'm going $1.50. They just drove you around for 15 minutes and they made $1.50. They're probably going to have to work a minimum of 10 to 11 hours to probably see $30, $40 to $50. Just the simple math that I just did. And that's getting a continuous fare after another, which is Cedric say that's just not realistic.
It's not.
That's dropping you off, ding, I got another one. Dropping that person off, ding, I got another one.
But the same people who want ultra cheap driver is the same person that wouldn't even turn their car on for $1.50.
Yeah. So therefore, now you want someone to be English speaker, because we don't speak Spanish, to pick you up from the airport and hold the pretty sign and recognize who you are, help you with all your luggage, have the AC on, take you to your hotel, wait out there, wait. Now drive you around to go to the grocery store, bring you back to your condo, now take you back out to get something to eat, and then possibly drive you around the next day to different neighborhoods of at least 4, 5 to 6 hours of their time. 4, 5 to 6 hours of their time.
How much?
To have knowledge of what they're showing you, to be able to answer questions. You want to know, what is that? What does that do? Why is that over there? Ooh, what was that building? Oh, what was that? What? But they supposed to just sit there and not know anything about anything. They're supposed to be very knowledgeable, speak the language, engage with you, and you want to pay them $10 for the day, $20 for the day. Where does that exist at, you guys? Gas is still gas. I don't know whether you've seen it. Most people don't realize that liter, don't look at that 0.085 and you're thinking and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they're only paying 85 cents a gallon. It's not a gallon, it's a liter. They're paying more, the same equivalent of gas that we are in the US. That AC doesn't run cheap. And I just said they don't really drive hoopties here in Panama. So they have a nice car that they're probably paying a car note on. They have the AC freezing, because you most of the time got to tell them, can you turn that AC down some? They speak the language. They're driving you around. They have knowledge of, and you want to give them $20 and take your butt back out and go back inside your condo. No. They're 50, they're 100, they're 250, whatever the number is worth the knowledge and the time that they're engaging with you. They are off the clock for that day. They're off the clock. They're now not making any money from Uber to assist you that day.
But again, I mean, me and you talk back and forth on this particular subject, and the person that needs to hear this still want that deal.
And that's fine that they can want that deal and keep finding it. That's all we can say. Keep finding it then. If you want a $3 ride, get an Uber. Walk. Why stop at $3? Go ahead and get you 37 cents and take the train.
No. They want to do the neighborhoods and the whole nine and not.
You have to pay for service. Are there deals? Are there probably affordable people? Yes, that's stupid of me not to say that. The same way you can go get you a six-figure Bentley, you can also go get you a $10,000 brand new car, $20,000 brand new car here. Yeah. So what stops you from getting one over the other? It's the cost. So if you don't like the fact that driver A is going to charge you $200 for 6 hours, but driver B said, well, I'll charge you $100. Why are you upset that driver A is going to charge you $200, and why don't you just go book with driver B?
Yeah, because you do have a choice.
Why put driver A in an uncomfortable situation? Go, $250? That's crazy. Oh, who would pay you that? You just didn't say, hey, that's a little out of my price range. I'm going to go ahead and keep looking.
Because we as Americans have a problem with going, hey, man, I ain't going to be able to do that. They'll either, shame, guilt you, whatnot, and make you come down off your stuff to more.
Somebody is paying driver A $250. Yeah, and if not, guess what? Driver A wouldn't charge $250.
There you go.
He wouldn't charge it. So if you don't feel driver A $250 is worth your time, the knowledge, then go, hey, driver A, yeah, that's a little more than what I wanted to pay, but I appreciate you taking the time to respond to me via WhatsApp. Let me go ahead and go find me somebody that's a little bit in my price range. Instead,
say, good luck.
You come to the chat, or you start complaining to other people going, $250? These people in Panama tripping. No.
Based on what?
No,
based on what?
Tell me, go to the Bentley dealership here in Panama. I would love to see. I want you to record yourself going in there, and I want you to go in there and ask Bentley how much is their Bentley. And when they tell you it's still $650, I want you to go live, and I want you to have words with the Bentley dealership owner and tell him this is Panama. This is Panama. Your Bentley shouldn't still be $650.
$650? Why can't $650?
No, I mean 6 figures. I'm sorry.
6 figures.
I want you to tell them that, and I want to see their response. I would love to see their response to you when you tell them in Panama their Bentley should not be 6 figures.
Oh, you mean while y'all in the dealership? Yeah.
While you in the dealership,
they're gonna get security and they're gonna. That's how it's gonna happen.
So the same way that you're telling them that their prices shouldn't be something that you don't want to pay,
you don't have to.
As crazy as that statement was that I just said, that's what it looks like when you're upset that a service that you would like to pay is not in a number that you would like to hear. Keep it moving. That's all you got to do. You just keep it moving. I don't want to pay driver A $250 for 4-5 hours. Okay. Sorry, driver A. I'm going to move on.
When you move on, either you're going to find somebody to do it, or you're going to come to the realization that your $10 all day ain't going to do it.
It probably will. Or it was absolutely fabulous and wonderful you, and guess what? You came up on the deal. I mean, it's no different. I know I went back to the hair, and I was on the hair a few minutes ago. Okay, you happen to find somebody that's in Cologne who you go to their local apartment, or I don't know, they might be doing hair outside on their patio or outside. You don't have AC, you don't have running water.
How'd you get there?
I don't care how you got there. You could have walked. You could have got on one of them mules that you think are going back and forth down the road. I don't care. You're in Cologne. That's the statement. You're in Cologne, and you're sitting outside in no air condition, and there's no running water, and they're taking water and they're rinsing your. I'm going the extreme. What I'm saying is there's always going to be a place and something that you can do that's going to be less affordable than what you want. But every deal that is less, there's a reason that is less. It's not astronomically less. Nobody in Cologne is doing braids for $10 and they're in a salon.
Nah. No, I'll go on the record and say you're right.
They're not doing braids. And you're gonna have boho individual braids down to your bottom. And that lady, the ones I just took out my hair, and they're gonna work on your hair for 8 to 9 hours, and you're gonna get up and give them $10, and you're gonna get back in your Uber and come back to Panama City. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss me with that one. It ain't happening.
Ooh, you sound like me, girl.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. The reason you can find those kind of reduced braid prices in the continent of Africa, not country, the continent, is because there are so many women. It's supply and demand. Shoot, the men know how to braid hair in Africa. It's a normal. It's the continent is devised of people that look like me and you.
Yeah, but we ain't talking about that.
No, that's what they sit there and go. In Africa, they do braids for $10.
But okay, again, it's got to be an apples to apples, because that's apples to grapes.
Yeah.
Because you're in a whole nother continent. You can't get that.
You can't get it. Here we go. We're going to break down the cost. If you're not a business owner, these are things that you might not realize. Cedric and I are not rah, pro-business, because I know that's how it's going to come out. Well, y'all just want everybody to pay high. No, I don't care what your fee is. You don't think that we done sat there and not walked out of some place? Yeah, this is more than what I want to do.
All the time.
When we were looking for furniture, low to the ground wasn't the quality of the type of furniture that we wanted. We walked into a few stores that a Walmart type of a couch, as far as we're concerned, the quality of the work, low to the ground, not fluffy material, we saw a couple of them were $2,000-$3,000. We saw towels, bathroom towels. One towel was $80. I didn't stand and go, manager, what's going on with the $80 towels? I said, let me get up out this stove. Said, let's go on over here to Conway. Let's go on over here to Alice.
And I said, I told you it was going to be that before we walked in.
You go to where your money is going to go to what you want to spend. You don't sit there and go, are these people crazy in Panama charging $2,000 for a couch that looked like it came out of Walmart? No, they're not crazy. They can charge what they want to. How often do you go in there and you see somebody actually buying something, though? Because every time I go to Conway, Alice, Do It Center, Madison's, Casa Comfort, they pack. Every time Cedric and I went into Ashley's Furniture in Panama, there was barely anybody in there. There's a reason why. So if you don't like the cost of it, don't shop there. Just don't shop there. Here we go. Business side. Minimum wage averages around $637 a month. Averages. Keep in mind, that was a month. Most Panamanians work 6 days a week. Do the math. They make $637 a month and work 6 days a week. But as a business owner, you don't just pay salary. Everybody know this. And if you don't know this, wake up.
Well, most people don't know it because they've never had a business.
That's saying, let's put it on the relevance of those that own a home. Do you only pay your mortgage?
No.
Let's put it on the, if you don't own a home and you rent, do you only pay your rent? Everything else. I don't give a doggone if it's all bills included. Is that all you have to pay?
No.
You don't pay groceries. You don't pay
auxiliary.
You have nothing else you need to pay. Everything's included. They got costs, y'all. You have to add Social Security. Every business owner is required to pay that. And we've shared this before. If you hire somebody more than the 4th day over to work for you,
in a week,
you have to also do that as well. That housekeeper that you would like to be able to have at your house every day of the week, you're going to find out there's more to that cost than just their fee. That driver that you would like to be accessible to you every day. They're sitting downstairs and just waiting for you to just come out. They're accessible to you every day, all day. On that 4th day, you have an employee. So you have to do Social Security, education tax, and the mandatory 13th month bonus. What is that? You haven't heard of that, have you?
No.
That means one employee at 50 hours a week can cost you $800 a month. The 13th month bonus, it happens in December. It's between December and February due to the fact that a lot of the time off in Panama occurs during that time for celebrations, holidays. There's a lot of time off. There's just a lot of time. Businesses are closed. The government does not want the employee to be hurt financially during that time period. So as a business owner, you are still required to pay the regular December pay and then a 13th month to get them through all the times that the businesses will be closed.
But the average American who's looking for the cheap deal does not care.
No, so And that's before utilities. Every time you go into these restaurants, and especially if it's more American based, they'll freeze you. They'll freeze you. Rent, supplies, or business insurance. To open a business, you're spending $1,000 to $1,500 just to register it. You know what register is? It's when you go like in the U.S. and you want to get your business license, and that it's $1,000 to $1,500 just to register it. Plus, you're expected to declare $10,000 in share capital. That means you're not opening the business broke.
Oh, okay. Your reserves.
Your reserves.
Gotcha.
If the business costs you $100,000 to open, not only do you have to use that $100,000, which we shared this with you when we were interviewing Mr. Jeffrey Carter of DACRA 23, there's no business loan in Panama. You open a business with your capital, not credit. And if it is credit, by that we mean it's going to be like you're putting stuff on a credit card, but you're still got to pay the credit card. Mm-hmm. So what we're saying is you still got to have money. That's what, I don't care whether it's a credit card or real cash. Once you have paid that, they then want to see you have $10,000 set aside to do the things you need to do, like pay employees, operations. Then you've got 25% corporate tax, utilities and overhead. Corporate tax. Some of us that are in the higher wage earners of the U.S., we already know what that 33, 34, 35, 36% tax look like. Well, corporate tax is 25% here. So when you're a U.S.-based salon, going back to the salon, and you're charging $100 for braids, remember, they're paying in U.S. dollars for the supplies, for the staff, for everything, for that hair, for the thread, for the shampoo, for the Miel organic, everything that you want that's name brand that's from the U.S. And they've got to keep the lights on. As Cedric was trying to get to. He was getting to that. This is not a charity. It's a business. Right. They got the overhead. They got the AC. They got the chair. They got the sangria, because you all want to have sangria come over to you.
You mean that ain't free? Oh, imagine that.
Panama in general is... Cedric and I like to compare it to, we keep saying, in general, the 1980s of U.S. cost.
The cost of living in the 80s in the States. Yeah.
But Panama is definitely cheaper in some areas. Housing can be 20 to 40% of a more developed city of the U.S. I can't say all. If you're in, like I said, if you're in BFE, West Texas, where the population is 2, you probably are going, Panama is very expensive in rent. Sure. We're going of a developed city. Healthcare, definitely 50 to 70% less of most items. Eating at a local fonda might be 70% less than what a normal restaurant can cost. But other things, imported goods, if you got to have Heinz ketchup, if you want to have, I always say ranch, but what's Kraft Ranch, if you want to have Charmin toilet paper, these brands that you're familiar with, they're imported. Yeah. So you're going to have to pay in case some of y'all don't realize that means whatever the cost is that you see it on the shelf in the U.S., then the store, so if Heinz ketchup is $4 in the U.S.,
okay,
Reba Smith has to charge, they have to pay the $4 to get it here because they got to get it here. They got to buy it. Now they at least need to make their $4 back. Is that simple math, Cedric? So it has to be at least what? That Heinz now needs to be at least how much on the shelf at Reba Smith?
Well, if you're trying to just buy it for how they bought it, it's $4, but you got to add more cost.
But they got to get their $4. They got to get their $4 back. So it has to at least be $8. 4 plus 4 is 8. Are we all keeping up with that? No business is in money to lose. No business is in business to lose money. If I pay $4 to get the Heinz ketchup from the U.S., it's now on my shelf in Reba Smith. I can't just charge you $4. When did I make money?
You did. You lost money.
When did I make money? Because there was a shipping cost included. Right. So I at least got to charge you $8 just to go back to my original $4. I still haven't made money. Are we all keeping up with simple economics? That means that anything over $8.01, is that correct, Cedric?
Yeah, in your example.
I'm now in a profit. $8.01, I'm now on the profit side. You can put that in relation to everything. If you wanted the fact that you want to see American products on shelves, it's not going to be the same price as it is in the U.S. It has to get here. Mm-hmm. It has to get here. If you want cheaper, you want to see your money stretch, and you want to be down in this region, Nicaragua, Colombia, Mexico.
Not putting any of those countries down.
I'm not. I'm just saying, you're going to have to come out of the U.S. dollar, and you're going to have to go to an area where the U.S. dollar is more than the cost of what the things are there.
But you don't want to convert your money.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
It's a headache.
I'm just going to say this is not probably the right place for you to be if you want to see astronomically reduced prices.
Right.
Astronomically.
But being somewhere else also causes other problems that you don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
So, because I'm talking to those people who are planted here, not nowhere else, that think that everything should be cheaper.
I think at the end of the day, Cedric and I basically the same. You don't like the cost of what some of these businesses are providing or offering. Don't use the business.
Yeah, that is the alternative.
If you don't like the cost of ABC restaurant and you feel like, hey, ABC restaurant, you're too expensive and you're only that way because you're catering to the American expat and you feel like the American expat is going to pay that, stop going to ABC business. Businesses close in Panama just like they do in the U.S.
Sure.
Either that ABC business is going to realize, hey, we're not making a profit no more. And they're going to reevaluate their cost, or they're going to go, we don't care. We don't make it. I mean, we don't care. We're okay with having that one person come in once a week and eat our $100 meal. That's fine with us. We're not going to reduce our $100 price just because you don't like it.
Well, some can't.
Yeah.
The price is the price. Bentley does not reduce their cost.
And they're not, they're probably not selling as many cars as Kia.
No,
I can tell you, they're not selling as many cars as Geely. You know, Geely, you can go get a brand new car. You saw it the other day, said brand new 2025 was $24,500 all in, loaded.
Yeah, loaded.
You probably can't get a seat in a Bentley for $24,500. A seat. I mean, so six-figure car. But they don't need to sell a car every day. I mean, we've seen them around, but you don't see them a lot. Right. But there also I can guarantee there would not be a dealership within a mile of our house if they weren't selling a Bentley.
So, but I'm going to bring this all to a nutshell, is that you got to think in mind that these are businesses you're talking about, not hookups, not people, that do stuff on the side. They're businesses.
Yeah.
And they have their price. Yeah, they're going to have some sales that can bring their price down. But again, let's put this in a frame of mind. You're comparing the service that you're getting here to what you were doing in the States. And in your example, you were paying $400, and now you're paying $145 for the exact same service and quality with the exact same time it takes to do your hair, and you're complaining that that's expensive when you couldn't sit in the chair and get that in the United States.
And if you're happy, at the end of the day, when you're paying for a service, I want to be happy with the service. Yeah. If you're happy with the service and it was the equivalent or better than what you had in the U.S., then what's the complaint? Like literally, what's the complaint?
Well, I tell you, what I read, the complaint is this should be cheaper. Okay, let's go with that. It should be cheaper. How do you know that? And where's your example that this service was cheaper at a salon? Apples to apples, not apples to oranges.
And I'm also going to piggyback on that. A lot of people that saying it should be cheaper. Hey guys, I ain't being funny. Please don't, ladies. I'm gonna tell y'all the ones walking around with a jacked up head. So you waiting on something to be cheaper because you're gonna put your foot down. I'm not paying $120 for no braids. But you don't have any braids in your head either. You're going to wait it out. To do what? Or you're going to wait until you purchase another airline ticket to go back to the U.S.
And pay more.
And then you have to take into the consideration of the airline that you just paid for. That's fine. If you feel like, hey, I'll go get my braids done once every 6 months in the U.S. and I'm going to pay $400 because at least I feel like my $400 is worth it because it's a U.S. person. I don't know where they do their math at. So you feel like paying $400 in the U.S. is worth it because it's the U.S., but you won't do $150 in Panama, as Cedric said, because it shouldn't be $150.
Make that make sense.
I don't have locks. There was a price that was going around that somebody in the WhatsApp group said that the price that a business was charging for locks was $420. That's what they were quoted in that. Somebody else said they priced at that same place charged them was $250. So let's just go with the fact between $250 and $420 because they both were saying two different things. I don't know. It's still their price. And just like, now I will admit, the person who said it was $420, they never said anything about the fact of, and I don't see what they were talking about and they tripping. She literally said, and I realized that was more than what I wanted to pay. So I kept looking. So I don't want nobody going to eat.
And,
she never said
great.
anything about the fact of, and these people tripping, and how dare they?
That's great. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's all you can do.
Right.
That's out of the realm of what I wanted to budget for getting my hair done. I'm not paying that. But there are other places. Locks are not a predominant thing in Panama City. I've been advised the closer you get to Cologne, the closer you get to the Afro side of Panama, the country, the more you'll find people that cater in locks. But as Cedric said, now you need to get there. So that's an Uber, that's a ride, that's whatever. But you're waiting on places in the city to give you a reduced price. My example that I gave you about, you're waiting on people in a salon to give you Nene's prices when you come to her Section 8 apartment in the hood. Nene can't charge what you get at a salon. She will never have nobody sitting in her chair.
Girl, you supposed to be out your mind.
You would trip. You'd be like, Nene, you tripping? Girl, you charge me $400 to get my braids. I can go get that at the salon. It's the same thing. That's all we're saying. So at the end of the day, we're saying, hey, you guys, your only resource or recourse that you have is just don't pay it.
Yeah.
Just don't pay it.
Yeah.
That's all you have.
Because you're just venting to people who can't change it no way.
Yeah. Mad at the business owner is doing nothing. Just don't service them. Don't go there. You don't have to go on sites and complain that they're overpriced. You just don't go there. If you don't like the fact that a driver is charging you out of a budget that you feel should be comparable, then don't pay him or her. Don't pay him. It's that simple. That's the end of the day. You have all the power as a consumer. Use your power. That's your money. You earned it. You have a right to always disperse how you would like it to go.
And just like you have the right to spend your money, a business has their right to charge whatever they want to charge.
You have a right to spend your reduced rate that you would like to, and I might be very much comfortable paying the $250 driver because we did. We're not being funny with it. We did. It was the knowledge. It was the day. It was you're gonna have somebody. Day. We had the whole 8 hours. The whole 8 hours. Everything. There wasn't a place that we couldn't go that they didn't take us to. They waited. They did. That wasn't an issue for us. But you have to remember the way that you have a problem with something, somebody else may not. That's all.
That's it.
Somebody else may not. So it's you that have a problem with the cost and not everybody.
And before we get the back and forth on the comments, people who don't have a problem with that, they're not complaining at you that you should. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Don't take it that way.
So they're not.
We will never sit there and say you should also be willing to pay that.
No.
It's your money.
That's right.
Hey, $250 for a day for somebody who their whole resource of being here in Panama might be $1,200 to $1,300 for the month. Baby, I can't give no driver $250.
Right. It just ain't. But
it's a math thing. I can't do it.
But those who have it ain't complaining to you that you don't have it.
That's correct.
So for those of y'all who don't have it or don't feel like that's outrageous for people who are paying it, you're trying to put your shoes on that person. And they're not putting their shoes on you.
That's correct. So we all don't spend our money the same. I thoroughly agree with that. Keep it in context. Keep it in context. Until next time, but we're going to do a question.
Oh, see?
Yeah, I'm through. Yeah, we haven't done a question in a while.
I know, and I ain't been able to do.
We haven't done a question. I know. Yeah, we haven't. We haven't done a question. So we haven't. We got to lock out a lot of. We got a lot of videos we're uploading today because I got a lot of. We've done a lot of events. So I'm gonna.
She had me out in these streets.
The editing part, y'all know we don't do editing, but Mr. Butler here was just doing stuff, just record, and all conversation can't be had. And so some of y'all don't like when the music is playing, but it's gonna have to, baby, because I ain't getting ready to sit here and listen to no 6 hours of us being out places to make sure nobody said anything wrong or was talking about folks. So it's gonna have to be muted. But anyway, that's what I said. The question today is, do you feel on your end, those that have relocated to Panama, that you have found that Panama is more expensive than what you had expected it to be, it is right where you had expected it to be, or it has been a savings or a reduced level of what you were expecting it to be? So basically, we're just asking, and that's just the question of the day, where you feel Panama lies in your economic standing, and you personally, how it has been affordable or not affordable, and what have you found to be affordable and not affordable? That's the question, okay? Until next time, like, share, follow, comment.
Subscribe.
With that, we're out.
We're out.
Peace, y'all.
Bye. Live long and prosper.
Oh.
I like that.